Hey Joe, I know time is of the essence here with the season approaching, and you guys had to miss the scrimmage the other night. How much does it help you to have three starters back? How much does that help during fall camp?
Whenever you can gain game experience, man, that goes a long way. So those guys are a tremendous asset to our unit and our program. So it's just a matter of getting back in the regimen and the routine of getting back up to speed and improve. That's the goal now. But it's always good to have the experience.
Next up, and you can unmute yourself, AJ Jacobson from Rivals.
Coach, you have two redshirt freshmen I've been taking a look at in the middle of your defense, Keon Ware-Hudson and Christian Williams. Can you talk about those two, what you've seen from them, and what you're hoping they can contribute to you this year?
Man, it's I think what a difference a year make. I think we're always advocating for our guys to make improvements each year, and the only way to progress is making sure that the nutrition, the development, the body changes from year to year. But those guys are right now are working their tail off, and Keon came in in a lighter weight that's been reflective of his play so far, and so I'm excited to where he's trending. Christian has been a really big time presence in our practices so far. He's also coming off of an injury, so to have a renewed sense of health for him, it's been awesome, and he's been stacking some great sessions, practices, and we chart our havoc percentage for the group, and Chris is right up there, and same as Keon. So looking to see that continue and progress, and we're excited.
Next question, Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
Joe, I know KT is a known commodity at defensive end. We know what he brings. Who are, I guess, what's the development like behind him, and who are some names to know at that spot?
KT brings some of those attributes that you can't coach, but it's his incline to trying to master his talent, and with our edge guys, with Coach Andy Avalos, I think he's given himself an opportunity to grow and be that much more of a formidable defender on the field for our program. So, I think with that said, I think we've got some young guys that are still trying to find their niche, and they're developing, and we're excited about where the progression is going for all of our guys on the perimeter. Obviously we got a lot of young guys in the fold, but obviously KT leads the way with that regard.
Kevin Wade, 247 Sports.
Wanted to ask about, I know Jalen Smith got loaned over to the offense. I wanted to ask about how that came about. Did you recognize that? Did the offensive guys recognize that? What brought that about?
It's just been unprecedented type of year in the season, obviously with a lot of moving parts and so forth, and the changes. I think Jalen just he's epitomizes what being a football player is. He's not restricted to just one part of the field. For him to be able to do that, it just speaks to his athleticism and his ability to work on both sides of the ball. And so I'm excited. I think the biggest thing for Jalen is wanting to be a great teammate and contribute in any way. And so we're excited because he's the one that's going to have the opportunity to be able to wear two different hats down the road here for us.
Ryan Thorburn, the register guard.
Joe Jordan's a guy who seemed to check most of the things off of his bucket list last year, winning the Pac-12, the Rose Bowl, getting his degree and all that, but he came back. Did that surprise you at all? And what can he do as a senior to help himself even more at the next level, in your opinion?
I think there's a lot of decision-making by a lot of these guys and their families. For Jordan, the opportunity to trim down, and he's really done a phenomenal job of honing in on getting his body right and reshaped and it's paying off right now because he moves a lot more quicker. But moving forward, I think with him coming back wasn't enough. It's to come back and hopefully to elevate his leadership. I think those are the things that he's excited about, and the challenges of what else can he do to be a great impact to his fellow teammates. And then again, you also have, Austin, the same thing. Those guys have a bucket list of things that they're personally chasing after. But the main thing for us and for them is to really, really impact and help elevate the room, and obviously on our side of the ball and defense, they can do that by demonstrating that every day. And those are the things that, those guys are willing to accept, embrace.
Warren Williamson, Oregon Duck Football News.
Joe, Eric mentioned this in his about impact players. I'm just wondering from your point of view, where you guys are now as a unit. We're just, 10, 11 days away from game. Are you close? Are you getting there? What's your impression of where this group is right now?
The goal was to when we got the green light was how can we make this start building our depth chart. A very dependability was the key, and how can we can work those things. Right now there's a group of guys there in our room that's are really getting after it now. You go with Popo's done a phenomenal job. I think his ability now, he's helped himself in getting his body right now. The mental part of it is he's able to put more on his plate, learning a couple other, being cross-trained at a different position. And that helps him be a factor in some of the things that we're doing up front. You got Brandon Dorless, he's also coming on his own. He's got a gift. All those guys are gifted, but I think the biggest thing right now is all those guys there, Dorless, Jordan, Christian, Keon, Popo, man, those guys are really getting after. They're competing. The competition level really picked up for that room, and it needs to be. I think that's the biggest thing now is everybody's trying to make a case for themselves, and I think the biggest thing is the film. We always evaluate the film and trying to find ways to minimize the errors and all those things. And I think the production sheet that we chart also speaks to that, and those guys are full aware of where we need to be and the steps that needs to have happened. And it starts in again gaining the trust of their peers, but also us as a staff, because I think that's the biggest thing, that the games are always going to be won and lost at the line of scrimmage, and those guys are right now has been a positive thing, and we're just trying to find a way to grind it and improve each day. And if we can continue to do that, we'll give ourselves a chance.
AJ Jacobson, Rivals.
Coach, you signed quite a large defensive line class in 2020, and it had 5 defensive ends, defensive tackles combined. You may need some of those guys this year. Are there any true freshmen that are looking to you like, yeah, I think that guy can probably help us this year?
Well, again, you got Jake Shipley. Jake Shipley is a mid-year, and his development's coming along. He's doing some great things. He's a guy with length. Again, we're excited about where his development is headed. And Jason Jones, came back real light. He's already a big guy to start off. He's another one that again, it's just a matter of getting the repetition and consistency for all of those guys. But those are some of the guys that we're excited about, obviously, with Salave'a and Mikel Alfaese. Those guys, it's too soon to say, but if they continue to compete and utilize the teaching and the coaching that we're giving them, those guys are going to be names that are going to be recognized here shortly. As far as just their opportunities and being able to contribute to the unit. So very excited for all of those guys.
Eric Sculp, 247 Sports.
Joe, a couple of days ago, Andy Avalos also brought up the havoc rating that you mentioned earlier. How do you measure that, and who are some other players aside from, I think you said Christian and Keon, who've had pretty good numbers there?
You know, everything is opportunities at the ball. You know, for us, you know, be a third down situation. Obviously, it's kind of scarce and sometimes with the interior guys, but you know, we have certain opportunities there, and the ones that continues to beat their one-on-ones and are around the ball. Those are the guys that are being graded for the productions. You know, I think it's a no-brainer, but it's the best way to make sure that all of our guys are understanding where they're at and what they can do to improve themselves. You know, no different than grading their technique, their effort, all those things. You know, it's one thing to be evaluated, but to really have those presented to those guys, you know, it just gives them a meaning of why they need to go hard, why they need to be exact in a lot of things that we're asking them to do as far as, you know, their execution and the consistency part.
Kevin Wade, 247 Sports.
Hey, Coach, I know it's been an unprecedented year, but what's it been like recruiting during the pandemic? Lots of Zooms, as the other coaches said, but what's it been like for you recruiting with this staff?
You know, I think the biggest thing is it starts from the top down. You know, I coach Cristobal and his ability to be able to connect with folks and people. I'm just blessed to be a part of this staff that are men of character and leadership, and I think that they're the relationship building for our staff and the way they're able to connect with people has been the biggest part of our recruiting methods. You know, I think those are the things about, it's a people industry, and you know, when it's done right and you're surrounded by that type of staff and our staff, you know, it's not hard to sell our university and our institution. And quite frankly, I think it's been a blessing to go through these kind of challenging times, because it really enhanced the fact that, you know, there's a lot of things that we're able to connect with families and these young men as we move further along with the recruiting. But again, the challenge is always trying to make sure that, you know, you're addressing the needs of these families, academics, the surrounding areas, the campus life, and all those things have never changed. You know, I think those are the things, and then providing them with the information and the of what we're doing here as a program, football wise. You know, I think those are the things that our people are trying to find out what is going on in Eugene. You know, and there's been a great draw from a lot of folks. Man, we have our specific areas, but I think the brand is strong, and you know, you're gaining a lot of interest from all across the country. And it's just a matter of making sure that they fit what we do here. That's the other piece. You know, we're not just trying to get anyone and everybody into the house. We're making sure that the character is checked off, and then their personality and they're willing to buy into our culture is the biggest thing. And so those things. So what happens is when you get those things aligned, you don't have to worry about, you know, trying to manage a group of guys, because you are already vetted and went through the process of getting it. But again, when you work for Coach Cristobal, it's understood. It's really clear what that is, and the checklist of things that we're looking for in the prospects. And you know, we're not going to sit back and let things happen. However it is, if we can control it, we'll control it. And the best part of being the recruiting is to have the opportunity to meet some of these families and their interests, and why Oregon, and why not Oregon?
James Crepea, the Oregonian.
Joe, just wanted to go through on the true 4-eye 6 kind of area with KT behind him. Who's in that mix at the 4-eye spot?
Well, you got Braden Swinson. You know, he's coming along as well. Again, he's another young man that just got into the program. I know his development is going to continue to climb, and excited for him. You know, we got you know, Brandon Dorless is also another athletic player that, you know, helps and provides that type of experience there in the 4i. It all depends on the things that we're doing. But you know, Isaac Townsend has shown some ability in there. And there's a handful of guys that we have that are continuing to grow, and we're excited about in their development. You know, I think that's the biggest thing when you're recruiting. You know, you want to make sure that you're recruiting someone that has unlimited potential, that can grow into a couple of different positions. You know, I think that allows you to have that type of a chance to place them in certain situations that they can be an impact in the bigger scheme of things. So looking forward to all those guys to continue to grow.
We have time for two more. Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
Joe, I couldn't help but think of some of the similarities between Jason and Jordan, and obviously a couple years apart, of just coming from the Southeast, reshaping their body, and we hear all these positive things. Are there similarities there? I know maybe positionally and size and everything are a little different, but you kind of draw a comparison from kind of where they came from and kind of how they've worked.
Yeah, it's just the way the world now. I think the world's not as far and distant at the end of the day. You know, I think these young men, they came here for a reason. They saw something in the program, not just from an athletic standpoint, but, you know, the overall development, life after football. You know, those are the things that have been discussed consistently, and what we're very excited about is for them to come across the aisle to Eugene. Again, there has to be a plan of development. There has to be a real legitimate opportunity for all of them. And you know, I wouldn't compare them in that regard, but I think the passion, and they're driven young men that are wanting to build themselves, not just as football players, but, you know, off the field and in their careers when it's all said and done. And that's, you know, reflective of Jordan finishing college, actually his degree before he even graduated. So, you know, that's a reflective of what the program is and what we're building here with Coach Cristobal, is trying to make sure that our guys are having to build their portfolio and their profiles so that they are equipped and ready to attack life after ball. And that's been a great joy to see some of our guys finish up and they're ready to take on that second career. And so we're looking forward to continue that trend and make sure that all of our guys are prepared for that.
Last question, AJ Jacobson of Rivals.
Coach, Popo Amave has been really nice to watch him develop over the last 3 years, and particularly the last half of the last season, he really started coming on. Now he's cut some weight. What are you seeing from him that he's doing on the field now that he maybe couldn't have done last year? Where is his areas of improvement?
Sorry, I missed you were asking for
Popo's areas of improvement. You know, what are you seeing from him on the field now?
I think that's the biggest thing. You know, I think he's starting to reshape his body. He's able to move and have a little bit more mobility. You know, those are the things that always would help in the long run to be able to carry that weight. You know, obviously he's a big player. You know, he's a big person. But I think that in the last year or so, he has truly again, with the work of Coach Feld and the guys in the weight room, those things have really helped Popo be effective on the field, because now his quality of play is consistent. Now the biggest thing now he's doing is with the confidence that he's gained. You know, he's able to now, you know, look at the other positions and the things that he can gain knowledge about, so that he's able to be training, cross-train in that regard too. You know, I think he's one of the guys that, you know, about midway through the season last year was really playing some really good ball, and he was effective, made some really critical, important plays for us on defense, and you can just see the confidence in him. I think that's the biggest thing right now. The confidence in Popo will continue. You know, he's a very conscientious kid. He's always looking for ways. He's calling and texting what are some of the things that he can work on. That you appreciate that as a coach, that a player that's constantly thinking about trying to improve his play. And really it's the preparation. You know, that's for all of our guys. I think our guys are in a position to be whatever they want to be, so long as they continue to invest in themselves and the process that we have laid out for them. You know, and I think we're looking forward, like I said, we're in a heated competition with all those guys that I mentioned, and we're looking forward to see where we're at in a few days.